Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back. I'm here to review Vikings Season 6, Episode 12. First of all, let's go back and look at Vikings, the premiere for Season 6, Episode 11. Well, I mean, the premiere as in Part B. Okay, so the big takeaway from last episode was Bjorn Ironside. Wow. So he was grievously injured in Episode 10, okay, which was the mid-season finale for Vikings, okay, Part A. And he was grievously injured. His death to inspire Catechit to defeat the Rus Vikings. Yeah, there was just a big emotional speech given from Gunhild, one of his wives, about how his death inspired Catechit, and how, you know, obviously she's going to now tell the story, pass it down to inspire, you know, more Vikings. It was just a big emotional episode. You know, I got a little teary-eyed. I love Bjorn. I mean, he's legit just one of the, you know, original characters. Even though he's not the original actor, because we had a child actor and there's a time jump. We've been with him for a while, and now he's dead. So yeah, I mean, all we really have who we know is alive out there is Rollo. I don't know if he'll ever come back, and hopefully maybe Floki. Hopefully he'll come back. Okay, and another takeaway is I wanted to say this last time. It's not like a big takeaway, but Olaf was burnt alive. And I was watching this episode with my son, and I knew this little bit of history, but I kind of forgot about it. He's recently studied in school in the 1960s, like 1964 or 1963. There was a Buddhist monk that burned himself alive in the middle of like an intersection to protest the Vietnamese government at the time. So it was like, I feel like the show was kind of inspired by our own history. Because JFK said there was no picture in the news, there's no news headline that created so much emotion. I think, I'm butchering that quote. But yeah, it just, when he did that, it's just real interesting because, you know, watching the episode again, you know, it just makes me reflect on it more. I mean, he's taking away the power that that the characters had over him. Yeah, I mean, they were burning him alive, and he sits there silently folding his hands, and they were deeply disturbed to the point where Oleg had to just walk away. I mean, they were just disturbed, and Olaf, dude, he was a cool character. He just took back some of the power, or a lot of the power, you know, dying the way he did. And we still have Ivar trying to influence Igor, okay? You know, so he's not a puppet king. Yeah, I mean, that's really it. That's some of the big takeaway. I just want to go ahead and jump into episode 12 now, trying to get out a couple of these a week for you guys. I appreciate all the comments, the people who like my reaction and review. Hopefully you'll like this one too. It really helps to have just great material, which, you know, this show that I love so much. So guys, let's watch this episode. Let's go. Okay, so yeah, we have the Rus Vikings returning after their defeat. Right? That Igor's like, man, what the hell? I'm surprised they got away. You know. I love how we know that they're still speaking their language to each other. Just to us, we hear English. That's just really cool. It's just kind of weird. Why well, okay. Yeah, so they're separating him.
What do you want? Go away!
What are you doing?
I want you to go away!
That's kind of funny. I mean, it's really bad, but you start breaking everything. Is there a better way to do it? Damn. I like a tough approach, but damn.
You're in this faraway place.
I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
Bjorn.
I love seeing that sword, man.
Bjorn.
It's beautiful imagery there, man.
I will keep it warm.
He just I mean, Eric is a relatively new character, so it's kind of weird.
Bjorn's death has left a hole in all our lives.
I love goats. Goats!
Please!
It'd be hard for me to kill someone just begging, you know, like in that situation.
I told you. I can't.
You got a plan with Durr, man. Just do the plan, bro. Come on. It's hard to resist. You gotta resist.
Please tell me, has he been in contact with you? And where is he?
Oh, shit. She's definitely...
Came here.
Ivar, you fool! Okay. Okay, guys, that was my reaction, and now I'm going to break down the episode. Alright. Okay, so we had the Rus Vikings going back to their homeland after the defeat of Kattegat. And they're pretty disappointed, but no one was more disappointed than King Oleg, who is very disappointed in his commanders and his generals. So disappointed that after he said, enjoy your families, he slaughtered them all. And there's an emphasis on you know, him going into Igor's his quarters, screwing up his treehouse, which I thought was a dirty move, man. I don't know if you guys ever heard the story of my dad buying all this lumber, all these 2x4s to make a treehouse. It sat on my porch for years. And then one day, I came home from school and he was loading it in the back of some guy's truck and a guy was handing him money. And my dad went, so I never got the treehouse built. So I always wanted the treehouse. So I see a treehouse's destruction, makes me sad. Ah, man. And he said, hey, I need you to be strong, to be king. So I'm going to expose you to the harsh realities of life, okay? And he gave Igor the sword and said, kill this guy. He's a traitor to our country. He's a coward. And what do we do to cowards? He reluctantly killed him, and he doesn't want to be there and doesn't like Oleg at all. And I don't think any of us do. Although I love his performance, he's definitely a cool, chilling bad guy. But there's so much going on now there that, like, so he is trying to get on Vitsirk's side, getting Vitsirk exposed to opium, and we all know that Vitsirk doesn't do well with drugs, okay, because he had some problems a couple of seasons ago, you know, with some drugs. I think that was as early as last season, actually, part A, okay? And then, of course, Vitsirk and Ivar, I mean, when you do that, when you drive a wedge between them and say, hey, I want to have a meeting with you, but not with your brother, and Ivar's thinking, like, well, what the hell? You know, what's going on? And now he doesn't know who to trust. And then, of course, Ivar is being attempted by Katya, who he thinks is, not Katya, he thinks it's Freydis, reincarnated, basically, you know, brought back, like, you know, to haunt him. You know what I mean? Like Edmond Dantes to Mercedes, okay, in the Count of Monte Cristo. So it's just, yeah, like a lot of people criticize kind of that storyline with Freydis and Katya, like it being the same actress. I think it's cool. I like it how Ivar sees it that way. You know, and then Katya is the same kind of temptress that Freydis was, unfortunately, and Ivar is trying to be strong, but he is... Unfortunately, he's a stupid man, like most men are. And yeah, he somehow looked like he got an erection and banged her or did something. I don't know what he did, you know. But, you know, if you can't fucking bang, you better be real good at going down on a girl. That's all I gotta say. Oh yeah, we had that messenger come to Iceland to give news to Ube that Bjorn was killed. And they had a dinner and they toasted to him. Skull to Bjorn Ironside. He told the tale really well, made me emotional. I was glad to see Bjorn give that toast and say what he said. I was glad to see Ube give that toast to Bjorn and say what he said. I think what else? Okay, and back in Kattegat, we have the storyline where, okay, obviously there's a power vacuum now that Bjorn Ironside is dead. Like a man, I should say. Went out like a badass. So now we have Eric the Red going between Ingrid and Gunhild, saying, you should be queen, no, you should be queen. And he slept with Ingrid. Not Ingrid, he slept with Gunhild after he encouraged her to be queen. And yeah, he's driving kind of a wedge between them. I think he maybe wants to be king. I think he could have played his cards right and, supported Gunhild, married her, and kind of been king with her queensmanship. That's what I think. But at the same time, Ube is a king, and Ube doesn't want to be king. Ube is like Ragnar. He hated the burden of being a king, and he just wants to be an explorer. He just wants to find new land for his people. He wants to be an explorer, and that's kind of he really strongly inherited that personality aspect of Ragnar. Unlike, his brothers who are really ambitious, especially Ivar, Ube doesn't care about that stuff. So even though Ube is rightful king, he doesn't really care. So now they have to vote on a king or queen, and if Ingrid is truly pregnant with Bjorn's child, I can see her legitimacy for wanting to be queen. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it can play out. I think ultimately it's one of those things where democracy should kind of decide. Okay? But unfortunately, it looks like they're going to be kind of pitted against each other by Eric, who, after he freaking sleeps with Ingrid, says, oh, you know what I want. I thought that was dirty. Yeah, I didn't really appreciate that. Another cool storyline is back with the Roos. Prince Dur is alive. He snuck in as a peasant bum, although I think he's living real rough right now because he's on the run. He's raising an army to challenge and defeat his brother Oleg. Okay, and he wants to retrieve the young prince Igor. Okay, because he's the rightful king. So he wants Ivar to bring Igor, man, these names are killing me. He wants Ivar to bring Igor to Dur and defeat Oleg. Okay, that way, because Oleg he's a tyrant. You know what I mean? So in terms of the story so far, I really like this episode. I don't like when our characters are kind of pitted against each other. We are in the final act, the final season, part B of season 6 of Vikings. You know what I mean? So I kind of just wanted to see. I don't ever really like these type of storylines where our heroes, there's infighting amongst them. And it's not that bad on the Scandinavian Viking side, but it looks like it could get to that point. And then, in terms of the Roos Vikings, they just, Oleg is no longer interested in conquering Kattegat. So I don't know what he's going to tell Ivar, he wants Ivar to be king of Kattegat. He wants to go to Constantinople, which, to me, like, after you get defeated and you have less resources, you want to go to a richer, presumably tougher kingdom to take over that one. It seems like you need to wait a few years to allow your kids or your teenagers to grow up so you can get more men, because you just killed a bunch of your leaders. So, yeah. So I don't think we're going to have another confrontation with the Scandinavian Vikings and the Roos Vikings. So he's going to Constantinople. There's going to be infighting with Scandinavian Vikings amongst themselves. Who should be king and queen? I think the audience, I think the citizens should decide. I think they should vote. And for me, I personally hope it's Ingrid. But, the show will probably challenge my beliefs a little bit on what the right thing is. They certainly did with Bjorn and Harold. And I ended up being very satisfied with what happened. I was pissed about Harold. And, where is he right now? He has escaped. And where is Floki? I don't know. We don't know yet. Hopefully they answer those questions in the next episode. I think that's all I have to say right now. But, yeah, I like this episode. I loved the premiere. This one was pretty good. I'm not going to give a score because I hate doing that. But I'm really invested in this show, in this season. I'm very satisfied so far. So, and we have... Ube, we had that conversation between Ube and Shettle and Athelstan, cutting back and forth. He was kind of telling them similar things. So Ube's maybe playing both sides there, but I like Ube. And of course, he knows, Flatnose, did a fucking terrible thing. And I don't think we should forgive Shettle that quickly. But Shettle seems to be very remorseful. And in this culture, I hope he can find some type of forgiveness. You know what I mean? Because I like that character. I hated what he did. So we'll see what happens there. That's pretty much all I have. Least favorite thing is, honestly, it's Vitsark getting high on opium, and I don't want him to become a drug addict again. I never liked those storylines, ever. I didn't like it with Ragnar, didn't like it with Vitsark last season, and I don't like it now. So, hopefully that isn't here for very long. And the thing I'm most intrigued about, honestly, is what is Freydie's motivation? She obviously wanted to sleep with Ivar, and it seemed to me she wanted information on Dur. So I hope she's just not secretly working with Oleg, okay? Now, it looks like that might be the case, so I'm really intrigued with that. Alright guys, let me know in the comments what you think. This is it. Bye. Guys, thank you so much for watching my reaction and my breakdown of the episode. If you like this channel and you want to support us, well then you can by just liking and subscribing, leaving a comment down below, hitting the notification. And yeah, just leave comments, tell me what you think. I'll do my best to answer most of them, okay? Thank you.